Hi guys, it's Coach Pat from the Rant. Before we get to the Rant, let's talk a little bit about our sponsor, Premier Football Consulting. These guys do a great job of placing football players throughout the country at great programs from Division 1 to Division 3. No one does it any better. But instead of me telling you about it, how about you hear from the CEO, Nico Pappas. Nico, tell us all about it.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Rant. My name is Nico Pappas. I'm Coach Pappas' son. I'm also the director and one of the founders here at Premier Football Consulting. Our team at PFC has been around for 23 years and is one of the largest football consulting groups in the country, as we've helped over 1,000 players and their family navigate this competitive, confusing, and costly recruiting process in an effort to find a great college fit. Our team consists of 15 former players and coaches that have experience at the FBS level, the FCS and Ivy League level, as well as the small college high academic landscape. Since the advent of the transfer portal, the NIL, and in the post days of COVID, this college recruiting process has become crazier than ever. It's confusing, it's competitive, and most importantly, it's costly. The PFC has stayed on top of all of these trends and has the ability to leverage our experience, our knowledge, and most importantly, our connections at the college level to give our players a huge edge in what will be a very competitive process. So if your son desires to play college football, I highly recommend that you get the help of an expert. When you go to buy a house, you look to hire a real estate agent. It's the same thing with the college recruiting process. When you are about to enter it, you should seek the help of an expert, and that's where the PFC comes in. So if you would be interested in a quick free consultation call, feel free to reach out to me at 617-308-7801 or shoot me an email at nico@premierfootballconsulting.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nico, and thank you, Coach Pap. Now, on to the podcast. Cue the music, baby.
Hey, welcome to Rant, folks. I'll tell you what, we got an exciting show today. We're talking Patriots, obviously. We're talking Black Monday. We're talking playoffs, NFL and NCAA. We got Nico Pappas, our sponsor, coming on, talking about football recruiting. It's going to be great. I'm Coach Pap, your co-host. With us is the absolute greatest of all time, from Brighton, Massachusetts. By the way.
Yes, sir.
Brighton High School got voted the most ghetto high school in.
We're number one. The Castle. Castle got a shout out, huh?
Anyways. So,
no respect.
No respect. Unbelievable. So we got the great Danny B with us, and of course the incomparable. Right from Weymouth, Wellesley. Come on. Wayland.
Yep.
Dave is just, he's here getting ready to rock and roll. You ready to go, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
All right, buddy. You go on. Start us off, buddy. A lot of fun.
Yeah, let's go right into it. For those who don't know, Black Monday is this trend or this event, I guess to say, in the NFL that happens right at the end of the regular season where all of the coaches that did a bad job this season get canned. There's been a good amount of firing so far, I believe. Yesterday, Gerard Mayo got canned, of course, and Doug Peterson got fired, I believe, too, yesterday. And then there are a couple firings before that. So let's dive right into it, guys.
Go get him, Danny.
I mean, you start with the Patriots. I mean, I'm going to give the Crafts credit here, because these owners hate to admit they're wrong. When people have money, they always think they're right. I'm going to give the Crafts credit for this because this was their decision, and they came to the realization early on that this was not going to work, and they pulled it. And I'm sure they did not like wanting to do this because I know they love Gerard Mayo, but I think they realized that we got to do something here because it was just a rudderless ship getting worse by the day.
We're going to talk about the Patriots in the next segment, Dan, all the way through, but we're talking about the coaching right now. I agree with you. I mean, this was a total swing and a miss. We've been talking about all the way through. Listen, you got to give Mayo credit. He battled his ass off.
Yeah.
But you got to give the Pats credit. I mean, Crafty, not easy to do it. All eyes are pointing to Vrabel. The guys I've talked to in the league all said that as soon as he interviewed for the Jets job, it got lit a fire under the Kraft's ass
Right.
that they had to get this thing up and going. I mean, they're going to have to do, there's the is it the Roselle rule or whatever, where they have to,
Right.
Art
they
Rooney.
got to do their interviews,
Rooney
stuff like
rule.
that. The one thing about Vrabel is he's going to command a lot of dough. He's going to command a lot of dough, and I'll tell you what, the Krafts have been ripped in New England for being cheap. I mean, they're going to have to really, really come up with this cash. But this is the only way, Danny. Hiring Mike Vrabel is the absolute only way for them to dig out of this hole.
No, I mean, it's clearly the fans' choice. He's you poll the fans, out of 100, 99 of them would say this is the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to
I
see
agree.
a trio. Vrabel, if Josh McDaniel can come back as the offensive coordinator, people don't look at him as what he did as a head coach, but look at him as the OC. I mean, he got a good year out of Mac Jones.
Exactly. A great year out of Mac
And
Jones.
this guy,
he went to
this
the Pro
kid's
Bowl.
got
I mean,
yeah.
like, he was good as an offensive coordinator. And
Right.
my brother also grilled me for saying that. Look what he did to the Raiders. Look what he did to Denver.
He's not a head.
He's a head
Clearly,
coach.
he's not a head coach, but he's a good OC. I'll tell you, I'd take a flyer on Wick Martindale. Look what he did at Michigan. Bring him in as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're gonna talk about DCs in a second. But you know what? Let's just keep running on the Pats, and then we'll blend right into the Black Monday.
Yeah.
Josh McDaniel. You look at Peter Principle in the dictionary. His pictures there. I mean, obviously a great coordinator, and obviously not a good head coach. That's okay.
Yeah.
And it's funny that Belichick hasn't named him as being the guy going with him down in going down to Carolina with him. Is he still under contract, Danny, from the last time he got fired?
I'm curious. That might be an interesting thing. Do they have to buy him out or whatever the case may be? That I don't know.
So for the folks out there, and again, I'm 99% sure on this. For the folks out there, the way the NFL works is this: if you get fired and you have contract remaining, you get paid.
Right.
But if you and they're very, very strict on this. If you take a coaching job at any level, you cannot get paid unless you're getting paid more market value, more than what you left for.
Right.
So if McDaniel the last place he left, he was a head coach, right, Dan?
That's right.
So if he comes back and he becomes a coordinator for the Pats, he's basically working he can do it, but he's working for free.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Some guys don't want to do it. Some guys
Now,
want to.
see, that's what the rumor was when the Pats brought Patricia and Judge in, because they had been fired. So
Right.
they were working for free here because they were getting paid elsewhere.
Vrabel was too. Vrabel worked for the Browns this year.
Consultant.
Yeah. So I mean, all my buddies, I'm going to talk about my buddies that got whacked on Black Monday. But I mean, if they all have years left in their contracts. If they want to go back and coach, then they got to do it basically for free,
Right.
unless they get a raise. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, you can't. And the NFL is really, really, really strict on this stuff. So Martindale last year, I think Martindale got dismissed and was able to take the Michigan thing. I think. But it's a good call. I think Martindale, he rubs people the wrong way. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's the guy for it and stuff like that. Well, you know what, Danny? And I drive you absolutely shithouse by ripping on Belichick. But I'm going to say this. At least the guy's a good coach. Brady literally, I sat there yesterday as I'm watching the game, and I said, Brady not only saved Belichick, Brady absolutely saved the Krafts. I mean, let's face it. They look like total buffoons right now. I mean, we're talking about a guy who saved a franchise for 20, how long he was with the Pats.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was not for Brady, and I'm going to give Belichick credit in his earlier days, Belichick, I mean, the Krafts, you hit it right in the head. They're a rudderless ship. I mean, they're a mess.
And they're becoming like Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
They want to get, they got that taste of what it was like Super Bowl week. They love rubbing elbows with everybody. And now, each year it's 1 year. And they're not young guys. They're both in their 80s. It's 1 year closer to meeting their maker. And you hate to be morbid about it, but, when you panic, it's like when you're in the casino. When you lose $100, you panic. And that $100 quickly becomes $200. you look at these owners, when they panic, you start making panic moves, and that's, when you start making worse decisions.
Yeah. And I just can't. I went from yesterday saying, this is a disaster. Obviously, we're all Pats. No one. And then as it trickled through, and I talked to my buddies, it looks like Vrabel's going to be the guy. It's amazing how this guy he'll be able to pull right off. He's got the pedigree. He's got everything he wants in a job, and he's been quoted on saying this. He needs a quarterback. Okay. He has the ability to bring in a great staff because he's so well respected. Okay. Yeah. They have cap space. And again, the Pats are going to pay it, but he'll be able to get free agents to come in. I wonder if he keeps Wolf. And just so we know, he butted head big time with the GM and the owner down in Tennessee.
And that screwed him.
Yeah. You think your boy Baganzi would come back?
To me, I don't know. You got a great. I know it's coming home, but Jesus, you're in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're gonna as long as the quarterback is healthy, you're gonna be in the mix for a ring every year. But the other thing is, if he comes here and they start becoming good again, he's got it made. The local boy comes home and saves the franchise story. So there's a lot. There is something to it, and he is the assistant there. If he comes here, and from what everyone says, he is friendly with Vrabel.
Mm-hmm.
So if he comes here, and gets it done, this is his baby now.
Yeah.
In Kansas City, he's just part of the baby. For lack of a better word, I guess.
Yes, he is. Let's transition real quick, and we're going to get to Black Monday in a second. But can you believe? Have you ever seen a game where two teams were trying to tank and one team out-tanked the other?
Unbelievable. I was there, Pap. It sucked being there. Freezing my ass off, just begging for a loss. Like, I was so excited when we put Joe Milton in, because I was like, great, not Drake May. We could try to make this look like a tank. And then he goes off putting up, I believe, like a 97 point whatever PFF grade. He goes off. He goes off, does a fucking backflip and shit. Like, what? We would just sit on this guy the whole time?
Hey, before you go, Danny, we're going to talk draft on another thing. I am not a Shedeur Sanders fan at all. Sorry, Dan. He throws way too many interceptions for me and gets sacked way too much.
Yep.
I'm not as, people like, they didn't get the number one pick. This is a travesty. I don't think it's as bad as people are saying. This is not like last year where, Caleb Williams, say what you want. He was a legit number one guy.
Yeah.
Jalen Daniels was a legit. Those two guys were good. The two top quarterbacks here are Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. How comfortable would you feel? You may be back in 3 years in the same predicament. To me, why not take the best player? And you're not going to get to the Super Bowl anyway. Maybe get a Brissett or someone to carry over for a year and take a flyer next year on Arch Manning, who I think is better than any quarterback in the college right now.
I know you're a huge. I know you're a huge fan, and I am too. But maybe I'm reading this thing wrong. But are you trying to tell me that Joe Milton isn't worth a second-round draft pick right now?
Nah, I wouldn't know.
Oh, I think he was fantastic yesterday.
Yeah, but he was playing against Harry from Home Depot.
Huh?
He was doing it against Harry from Home Depot.
I understand, but the way he carried himself yesterday, I'm telling you right now, if I'm in the need of a quarterback,
that's pretty number two. Yeah, I don't know.
Right, maybe a third-round pick.
I guess there's a sucker out there. To me, the one team that I would be intrigued with, although I don't know how much Brady is going to have say in, but from what everyone says, the Raiders like Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what
I'm with you. I would take Ward over Sanders myself.
Oh, I would take Ward as well.
That's what I think Tennessee's looking at. Yeah, I saw Tennessee's looking at.
You hit it on the head, though. You hit it on the head. That this Sanders and I don't know, at least 2 quarterbacks are going to go before the Patriots pick. So that means the third team, who's at well, it could be 3. I mean, Tennessee's going to take a quarterback.
Yeah.
Or else straight out. Who's them?
Cleveland, and then the Giants.
Now, Cleveland's got a tough decision. I mean, they probably need a quarterback, but what do you do with Deshaun Watson? That's a lot of money you still got to pay.
They did
No, I
restructure
know,
the
but
deal.
The mistake on the lake. This
Oh.
kid stinks. And he's god awful, and he's just bad in the locker room.
No, I understand. But it's the money. I mean, if you
Yeah.
let him go, you got to, that cap hit is absurd.
He's, I mean, I know he's the new Bobby. He's the Bobby Bonilla of football, for Christ's sakes.
I mean, they're stuck for a couple of years, eating that contract. It's like, owners try to tell him you're making a mistake here.
I know you rip on me all the time because I rip on the NFL, and I love the NFL. But I'll tell you what, I tweeted this yesterday, and I hate to use the word ever. I like Bob Ryan. I don't love him. I like him. The reason why I didn't like Bob Ryan, because he used the word ever a bunch. The best player ever, the guest game. But I'll tell you what, that NFL weekend probably was the worst weekend ever for NFL football. Less than 25% of the teams were actually trying to win. I mean, and we were talking about, what one of your rants might be, and you were saying the Chiefs. I mean, come on. I mean, it's the NFL. I mean, Damien, you sat through a JV game. The Chiefs, it was unbelievable.
It's like, it's not even like, what are we doing here? Like, it's professional football.
Well,
He's smiling.
They saved the best for last.
That's right. That's why he's smiling, because the Lions saved the weekend. They saved 100%. The weekend. They were unbelievable.
Oh, it was what a game. Oh,
4 touchdowns for Gibbs. 4. I couldn't believe that.
How about hey, Minnesota? How about you run the football? I mean,
that's the thing. Now, because Darnold for 16 weeks, they were like, they had a decision. What do we do? Do we sign him long term? Do we let JJ McCarthy? Do we offer him up? But after last night, you hate to nail somebody for one game, but it's a big game, and a lot of his flaws. People, remember the infamous Patriots game where he made the comment after, I thought I saw ghosts out there.
Yeah.
He looked like it last night. And this is against a Lions team that was playing 7 backups.
The good news is you guys played great. And I really think you're the front runner going to the bad news. You're going to lose both coordinators. Aaron Glenn last night.
Yeah.
Did he have them figured out in the red zone? Yeah. I mean, in the first half, 8 plays in the red zone. 8 plays in the run, and they throw it all 8 plays in 7 times to JJ Jefferson. I mean, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, crazy. Listen, you got to get out of Boston, for Christ's sakes. You're up there choking on the cold. For Christ's sakes. Yeah.
You got Aaron Jones. I know. Look at that bastard.
Listen, brother.
You got Aaron Jones. I mean, this is a guy that this is what he excels in: short yardage, nose for the end zone. You don't even give him the ball.
Yeah, I know. I
wasn't complaining.
They did a terrible job of the red zone. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm rooting for Donald. It seems like a fantastic get anything else. But listen, playoff football. That's you either come to play. It's a different game right there. And that's why when you look at the teams, and we'll talk about the playoffs in a little bit, but when you look at those teams, it's really a quarterback-driven league. Wow, the Steelers.
Jesus. I think, and people getting on Tomlin, I think they, the problem is I thought they overachieved for weeks because I don't think they're that good.
Yeah. That's definitely true.
Crazy. All right, Black Monday a little bit. So, Pats are done. Jets will be out looking for people. Where's your guy going? Where's your coordinator, Ben Johnson, going, you think, Danny?
Let's see. I know that supposedly the Patriots did ask to permission, but he's not coming here.
Smoke screen.
You hear the Bears.
Not a good job for him.
You keep hearing the Bears are very interested. Why not stay in Detroit? Do you really want to be a head
That's
coach?
what they all say. That's
I
what
mean,
every
they're gonna
Detroit
pay
fan
him.
says.
They'll pay him whatever he wants. I mean, the
No,
money's
they
not an
won't.
option.
No, they won't. They're
Yeah.
talking
He's
15
the
million,
hottest coaching
15
candidate right
million a
now.
year for these guys. I mean,
Yeah.
there's 60 million reasons why he wants
No,
to
I
get-
understand. I mean, you know,
Yeah. It's time. It's time. He's done a fantastic job.
Yeah. He could have
You know,
left
I
last
think-
year. He didn't want to.
I-
He wanted to stay one more year.
I know it's not officially open. I wouldn't be shocked if he went to Vegas. But you know,
Yeah.
they'd have to go up. And Brady's supposedly picking the quarterback. So anyways, I would think I think Aaron Glenn's all set in New Orleans. The Jaguars, it's intriguing. It's intriguing.
I mean, you know, originally early on, you heard Belichick's name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
Yeah.
now. I mean, but
done.
I don't know. I just
Yeah.
it's a tough job. I mean, I don't unless you are they going to get Ron Rivera?
I don't know. I hate to admit I'm wrong. I don't usually admit I'm wrong there, but I always thought that Trevor Lawrence was going to be the next John Elway. I really believed that. I thought he was going to be
He
unbelievable.
was incredible.
He had a great year. A couple of years ago, he was very good.
Yeah. I mean, does Ben Johnson go down there and revive him like Donald's getting revived and some of these other guys? Yeah. I don't know. Rough day for my buddy Lou. I'll tell you what, it was a rough weekend to be a buddy with Coach Pap. I mean, Lou got it. Andy Dickinson, the old line coach at Cleveland, he got whacked. Obviously, Shane Waldron got it. So you better watch out, Dan.
Yeah,
You might be on the chopping block, buddy.
you never know.
Dave, what do you think?
You're only as good as your next
I
article.
don't know, man. I'm new.
Dave, you're cheap. You're cheap. We're gonna keep you
I
around.
come cheap. Hey, another fun name to throw out there you guys haven't thrown out. He's very, very precedent on going to one location, but Rex Ryan says he wants a job.
Yeah.
Well, he wants one. He wants back in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Rex
tell you,
Ryan.
I like him.
I know you like him. He's entertaining. He had a losing record for the Jets. Come on.
Well, he got him to the AFC Championship game twice.
I mean, how bad have they been since he's left? I mean, they haven't gotten better.
Yeah, he's still gonna fight. I don't know. I like Rexy. I like watching him on TV, but
Yeah.
you know what? Dave, I know you're a young guy and Danny's a young guy, but I'll tell you what, not a lot of guys over 50 years old getting interviews, and it's a shame because when you look at the successful new coaches, Harbaugh, Dan Quinn,
Yeah.
I mean, these guys have been around and they know, but again, it's not sexy to hire an old guy. You know what I mean? Unless you're married to one of us, right there.
That's it. That's
Right,
it.
Sherry? Yeah, she said, you bet.
But it's just I like they want this. Everyone wants the next Sean McVay.
Yeah, I know. And it's, I mean, there's only one of them, quite frankly.
Yeah,
There's only one of them.
A lot of these young
Well,
coaches. are
Kevin
misses.
O'Connell. I mean, I know last night was not his best night, but that's what they want. They want that mid to late 30-year-old guy who they think will be there for 15 years.
How old's Campbell, Danny?
I don't think he's 50.
Yeah, probably late 40s. Yeah, late 40s.
He would be. I think he'd be close to Greg Camella's age because they
He's
they played
48.
together. 48.
48.
48. Yeah.
So he got the job. He was 44.
Yeah, you're right. You're
And
right.
he begged for that job.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Well, Dane, what do you think? We want to transition into the playoffs, buddy, for the NFL?
Yeah, why not? Why not? We had a long talk about the NFL.
What do you
about the
think?
Lions.
Lions will not lose this week. That's a guarantee.
That's a
What do you
lock right
think?
there
What
in
do you
the
got?
sports books.
Dave, give us the rundown.
All right, so I believe I was just watching a program. So I believe Denver has to play Buffalo, which is going to be tough. Steelers have the Ravens again. I believe Chiefs get the bye.
And then what are the Chargers get? The Chargers get.
Yeah, Chargers get. Let me think.
Chargers, I think, are Houston.
Chargers get Houston. Yes, you are right.
And Baltimore's got Pittsburgh, I believe.
Yeah. It's gonna be another rematch. That will be interesting, I think.
All right, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think the Broncos give the Bills a good game.
I wouldn't be shocked. I'll tell you,
Yeah.
I'm not a big Sean Payton guy, but he's done a hell of a job.
You know who's a great coach, Danny, is Vance Joseph, the DC. I mean, and he's been mentioned for a couple of jobs. I think they go up there. You know what was shocking to me for the Pro Bowl? The Pro Bowl. You guys know how many guys in the Bills made the Pro Bowl? Don't cheat, Dame.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, we're talking about a team that's supposed to be one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. How many Bills made the
Maybe two.
two?
I-
Josh
I-
Allen I mean, they are so
Yeah,
dependent.
who's the other one?
I'm sorry?
Who's the other one?
He's a lineman. I don't know who he is. A lineman.
Yeah.
I don't know. But two guys. So
Maybe, wonder if it was Ed Oliver.
it was not. I think it was an offensive lineman. I think it was an offensive lineman. So I don't know. I think. I mean, Buffalo obviously is going to have the
Tough at home.
home field, something like that. But I think that Broncos give them a game. I'll tell you who sucks is the Steelers. Boy, do they stink. Wow.
Not good.
What do you think of that, Dan? Any chance at all?
No.
No. Ravens will kill them.
Yeah,
I agree.
think so.
Yeah. What do you think of the Texans game?
I like the Chargers.
I do too.
I think I like the Chargers too. I think the Texans they're just not this year. I think
Yeah.
not it.
He saw Harbaugh something though. They've bought in.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, they 100% bought in on Harbaugh. Holy shit!
Let's remember Jim Harbaugh. He has won at every level.
Every level, yeah.
National championship that he was in the Super Bowl with the 49ers. That guy's a hell of a football coach.
Against his brother.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
got the most out of Kaepernick.
That's right. That's right. Please. So Dave, what do we got on the NFC, buddy?
All right, so I believe the Rams now will play Minnesota.
That's
So
correct.
that will be the big mix-up.
In
I
LA.
believe. Yeah. Eagles probably play the
Eagles are playing the
Commanders.
Packers, which will be interesting.
Packers,
And
yes.
the Buccaneers will play Washington.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, which I think that's going to be a great game.
I think
Commanders,
Washington's going to beat them.
Bucks. You think Washington? I got Bucks. I think Bucks going to beat them.
Nah.
Baker plays good in the playoffs. I know you guys hate Baker, but he played pretty
Washington,
well. against Philly
I
last
like
year.
Washington there. I think the Eagles win because I think the Packers might be a little banged up.
Yep.
Curious about
banged up.
the
I'll take
Jordan Love's injury.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you on all three of them.
Vikings Rams, I think, will be an interesting game.
that one will be a great one too. I might have the Rams.
McVay's a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, especially a playoff coach. He's done an
Yeah.
unbelievable job. Stafford's done a great job. And again, I mean, right now the Vikings got to be sitting around kind of like what happened last night, and kind of second guessing what they're doing on all different levels. So again, I think I'm with that. I think that's going to be the best game to watch, quite frankly.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely one of the top
Cool.
three.
Well, it's going to be a fun weekend.
Yeah.
Fun weekend. Yeah.
It's going to be a relaxing weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So let's transition. What do you think, Dan, about the NCAA?
Oh, NCAA. I'm loving the next two matchups. I mean, we're down to the Final Four.
I want to root against all four. Well, I don't mind Texas. The other
Mind
three,
Texas.
it's like, oh, come on.
Should Texas even be there from the absolute blatant,
Wow.
the blatant cheating by the referees? Because when they draw up what a targeting penalty looks like, when the crown of the helmet goes smash into the kid's
That's it.
face
That
and
was
knocks him out, it's unbelievable. And then Arizona State is just, I mean, you get the 15 there going down. They're going to go in, score, game over. It was Danny. I'll tell you what. I like rooting for Texas, too. I like Sarkisian. But wow, what a cheat job that was.
Yeah. I mean, the Ohio State game against Texas, the question is how competitive is that going to be? Because holy shit, Ohio State kicked the doors in on Oregon. And I honestly am scared they're going to do the same thing to Texas. I don't want Ohio State to win, but damn, they're looking like they're the front runners.
I mean, that kid Jeremiah Smith is something else. Holy mackerel!
Like 17, maybe just turned 18. I don't even know.
I mean, you hate to make this, but do the Pats have a wide receiver who could start for Ohio State? And I'm not being a wise guy.
No,
I mean,
no,
Smith and the other guy is good too.
Take any of them. Give me
I know.
third,
I
fourth
mean,
string.
this is let's remember they've got the biggest payroll in college football. This is what they've done. If
Do
they
they have a
didn't
higher payroll than the Patriots?
I don't know. I don't know. If they didn't have the debacle against Michigan, I mean, everyone would be,
It might be the best thing. What happened
Yeah,
there?
it might be. It lit a
Sometimes
fire
a
in
kick
their
in the
ass.
ass isn't a bad thing.
I mean, you know what? Ryan Day's local guy, Manchester guy. Chip Kelly's a great guy. I mean, he's and I'll tell you the defensive coordinator guy named Jimmy Schaefer, who was, I'm sorry, Jimmy Knowles. Jimmy Knowles was the head coach at Cornell when I was at BB&N. Just a fantastic guy, great guys. I mean, they got a bunch of New England guys around there, so I know what you're saying. It's tough to root for Ohio State. Before we get out of this, though, can we talk a little bit about Cam Scatterbo from Arizona State? How about that guy?
Put the team on his back right there.
He's become a household name. I mean, throwing up on the sideline, comes back in, throws touchdown passes, goes out like a wide receiver. He's playing running. He does it all. I mean,
I tell you what, Danny, I'm going to boggle your mind. Remember Derek Papagiannopoulos, who played for us back in the day at BB&N? Derek who was a running back for us, went down to the University of Virginia, was an all-ACC heavyweight wrestler.
Absolutely,
5'8", 230 pounds. I'm watching Scatterbo. I could not get one guy to bite on at the Division I level to bite on Derek Papagiannopoulos. And I'm looking at Scatterbo. I'm saying, that guy, that's what Derek would have been if someone took a chance at him. I mean, Damian, this kid dominated. He was unbelievable. You couldn't hit him. He was Norm Boulash. Remember Norm Boulash?
Norm Boulash, yeah.
Yeah, Damian, you don't know Norm Boulash.
You're not.
Old school.
That's my time.
That's when everybody had a Norm Boulash.
That's right. When everyone had a Norm Boulash is right. Cool. Okay, so this is a big part of our segment, as we always do, and we better make this a good one because this is the guy who pays our bills. You know what I mean? Dave, make sure you get this thing right. Well, I know him well. I've known him well for 35 years. So my son Nico was proud to say was an all-state player at BB&N, and then went on, was a 4-year varsity player at Columbia, starting fullback. Then from there went off and has done a great job in the workforce, and along the way has put together the Premier Football Consulting Company, which is extremely successful, helping kids with the recruiting game. I thought it'd be a great time to have him on, as kids are really starting to look at the recruiting landscape as we speak. So let's bring him in. Let's bring the great Nico in, Damian. Let's go, baby.
Nico, what's happening?
Awesome. Let's go. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm doing great. Doing great.
I have a quick question. Can you get me an NIL deal for this show?
Let's see. I think, if you still have some eligibility, Danny, we can see what we can do for sure.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty old.
It's great. Well, that's part of what we're going to talk about, Nico, a little bit. But the landscape of the recruiting has really gone a little crazy. Tell us a little bit about your business and the type of kids you guys have been helping for the last 11 years.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so I run a company called Premier Football Consulting. We're a team of 15 former guys who played in college, a lot of guys who coached in college, and many guys who have coached at the high school level as well. But really all guys that are experts on how this recruiting process works and have been advising families from across the country for the better part of the past 12 years. And that was right around the same time I graduated from Columbia. So, we're helping all different types of families from different backgrounds and different types of geographic locations. But a lot of them have the same goals. They want to find a place for the next 4 years for their son to be a valuable member of the community on and off the field. So we're dealing with a lot of colleges that are, considered high academic schools, places where football can play a large role in helping guys get those types of opportunities. But we're also dealing with some bigger name guys as well, so some higher level type recruits too. So it's been a great mix. It's been a lot of fun getting to help certain players and families that are in need of which I think most are in terms of the recruiting process. And we're excited to take on another year here in 2025. So,
question I have, because obviously every parent thinks their kid should be starting at Alabama tomorrow. How do you circumvent the fact that you try to be as honest as possible, but you don't want to kill their dreams? I mean, how do you navigate that happy medium there?
that's a great question, Danny. Yeah. So, I mean, we want all of our guys to shoot for the stars. We want them to all work and train and approach each and every day like they're going to be a player at whatever dream school they have. And as you can imagine, yeah, a lot of families, and a lot of players out there want to play Division I football, which is great, right? But as we all know, that's a very competitive level because, we're here in our bubble in New England, and there are a lot of great football players from all across the country. So, while we want those guys to work towards getting to their ultimate goal, the way that our process starts is we start with a transparent evaluation call where we can, look at the players, film, take a look at their academic information, some of the off the field stuff, and put together what we think is their game plan for success, the types of schools they should be looking at, the types of schools that might be reaches, but really like what their areas of improvement are and what they can do to make their dreams a reality. So yeah, it's a fine line we've got to, balance where we want our guys to be ambitious. We want them to work really, really hard towards a certain goal, but you also have to level set and make sure you have the right expectations, because if you don't, then you're going to end up wasting time and money and also probably being frustrated and confused at some points.
Has there ever been one or two cases where a kid might have shot for the stars? You may not have thought he could do it, yet he did it.
Yeah, we have guys like that every single year where they come in for the evaluation. We say, hey, we think the Division I level might be a reach right now, but should be a great Division II or III player, for example. And they've checked all the boxes, right? They've done the right things in terms of training. They did a great job during the summer at camps. They had an excellent senior season. And it's around this time of the year, December and January, where guys who do, check those boxes have an opportunity to see some Division I interest. So yeah, we definitely see that all the time. But it's really about, each individual guy and what they want to do to and how much work they want to put into the process.
So, Nico, obviously a lot of guys out there want to play college football, so what do you think? Why do they need help? Help from like places like the PFC and some other recruiting companies. Why do they need help?
It's a great question, right? Because I think there's a lot of families out there and a lot of players out there that don't think that they need much help. But again, no matter what bubble you're in, whether you live in Northern California, you live in South Florida, you live in New England, I don't think families and players understand how much competition there is in today's recruiting landscape. And it starts from the top down, right? Danny already brought up, the NIL deals, and we know about the transfer portal at the Division I level. Well, that makes everything extremely confusing and competitive at that level. And then it trickles down. It goes from FBS to FCS. That screws up Division II, and that screws up Division III. And this whole world has now become a lot messier and more confusing. Why hire and why, seek the help of experts like us? Well, I think it's pretty simple. We can make this recruiting process much easier for families, much easier for players, save you guys time, money, and confusion in the long run. And ultimately, there's no guarantees, working with us, or hopefully, no one should guarantee you anything in this process because of how crazy it can be sometimes. But, our guarantee is that if you work with us, we're going to come up with some really good options for you to be able to play college football no matter what. Okay. So, yeah, I think it's money well spent when you work. It's like hiring a real estate agent when you're going to buy a house. At some point, you're going to have questions. You're going to need someone to do some of the dirty and the busy work for you. That's where teams like us come in and help.
I mean, this has got to be, when you first started this, you probably thought, we're just going to be placing kids into school. But like you mentioned with the NIL deal, excuse me, the NIL deal, I mean, it's got to be like, you're probably learning on the job every day, even though you've been in the business more than a decade.
Yeah, that's been the cool part, is that you get to see how things change from whether it's, just from period to period, pre-COVID, COVID, now we're in the transfer portal, NIL, and you're right, Danny, I'm learning new things every day. I think our team is learning new things every day. We're meeting new coaches, we're meeting new contacts, so expanding our network. Yeah, it's been really interesting to see and been pretty exciting here. So yeah, we'll just do our best to stay on top of what's happening in current events.
The you mentioned it earlier, Nico. The 15-man staff you have. I mean, and I know the guys, they're great guys who have coached at every single level, played at every single level and stuff like that. Can you talk a little bit about how important relationships are between the guys that work for you and then, talking college coaches, getting a guy like Danny mentioned before. I know we had a young man who was a great quarterback in the New England area, and you guys worked with him to prep school, and then he's at Texas A&M now, purely because of relationships. Can you talk a little bit about that stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah. Being well connected in this recruiting world is extremely important, right? So you want to be working alongside people that have the types of connections that you're looking for. So, whether it's looking for connections to the FBS world, the Ivy League and FCS world, the Division II level, or the Division III level, you want to work alongside coaches that know coaches that are in that landscape, and so that they can reach out and again, find more information about how your son or how that player fits well. But connections are extremely important. That's a great part about a team like us. All the guys that are worked on my team have coached in college before, and a lot have coached recently. So we still have a ton of great connections from across the country. And again, those are the types of connections that ultimately help some of our guys get their foot in the door, or not even that, but, we get to learn about what certain schools are doing, how they're recruiting at certain levels. There's a lot of great information that we can derive just from the people that we know. So, yeah. And again, that's expanding every day. And if you're a college coach, listen to this, we'd love to connect with you at some point.
As far as, you having played in college, how much do you think playing football has helped benefit you in the business world? What sort of lessons did you learn from football that have carried you over into this business?
That's a great question. And I learned a ton. There's a ton of benefits about playing college football. So if you're a parent watching this, or you're a player watching this, and you're like on the fence about whether or not to play college football, I highly advise you do. Not only will it help you get into a better school or get a better opportunity, maybe financially, in college, but it's going to teach you things that are going to carry throughout your 4-year career in college and into the business world, no matter what you want to do. But some of this stuff might sound cliche, but the ability to work, as a part of a team or as an individual, that's very important. And especially what I'm doing day to day now, having great time management. I played Division I sports. It takes up a lot of your time. It's a full-time job in some ways. So being able to kind of stack and organize your day in certain periods to make sure you're getting everything you need to get done. That's, again, very important, and something that I apply to my day-to-day life every day. And then really just honestly, it's the competitiveness and the competition. It's just the will to win and want to win and want to work hard to win. I think that's something that college athletes, all of us, but especially football players, take away from their experience playing, and then they're able to apply that every day to get after it, no matter what they're doing, whether they're a doctor, a lawyer, a salesperson. Being competitive and having that hunger certainly helps. And I think people that have been through a 4-year athletic career, know very well what that's about.
Right. To follow up on that, now you played for your dad in high school. What's the best piece of advice would you say he's given you that you've been able to apply to your business?
That's a great question, Danny.
I'm pretty good at this stuff.
No, this is great. Yeah, seriously, that's a good question. As any player that's ever played for Coach Pap will tell you, you learn a ton about, not only football when you play for someone like Coach Pap, but you learn about, a ton about life in general. He says it all the time, and I think it really does apply, but he always says, shoot for the stars. And if you end up in the clouds, that's not a bad way to land. And, obviously he does it in a little bit more fiery and motivational way when he talks to guys. But it really does, it does apply. It's, no matter what you're doing, you want to be pushing hard. You want to win. You want to, bring what you're doing to the next level, especially if we're talking about professionally. And I know that a lot of guys that have played for him have done just that. They've shot for the stars, and, a lot of them have made it all the way there. But if they haven't, they've landed at a really good, comfortable point where they're going to be all set for life, no matter what they're up to.
So, Nick, we're going to close this out a little bit. So, obviously, you guys are busy, beginning of the year, from the Division 1 down to Division 3 level, guys who want to transfer. I know all 15 of you guys are flying. So, can you just talk about how people get in touch with you and a little bit about how the process works?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So in order to get in touch with me or with us, we have a website, premierfootballconsulting.com. If you search my name on Google, it'll pop up pretty quickly. My phone number, my email is both listed there. I'm also on Twitter under, Coach_Pappas, which is kind of confusing because me and Coach Pap have a very similar one, but you'll end up finding me on there as well. Feel free to shoot me a DM, and we can go from there. Again, like how the process works is if you guys are interested in working with us, we do an evaluation call where we dive in deep and go through what we think about your son as a player, as a prospect, and then we lay out like the game plan for how we think you guys should follow it. And then it's a simple process in the sense that if you guys get value from that first call and you want to continue to work with us, then you can hire our team to become your advisors. And then, we're a team from there on out, working together hand in hand, talking very frequently and making sure that you guys are in good shape. But those are the ways that you get in touch with me.
Great. All right. Most important question. How's my granddaughter doing today?
Yeah. I don't know if you can see it, but I do have a pile of diapers over one of my shoulders here. So, no, she's doing well. Doing great. It is cold out though, like Danny said, at the beginning of this call. So I know we got bundled up to take a walk earlier today. But no, yeah, she's doing great. We're excited to get down to Florida at some point soon.
You got to get an NIL deal for diapers.
That's right. That's a good point. Because she's definitely going to be a scholarship athlete at some point. Knock on wood. So we can start that early.
Nice.
Well, I can say this, buddy, and again, I want to be a proud dad for a second, but I run into people all the time that you guys have done an unbelievable job of placing kids. More and more people will rave about you and your team. And like Danny said, some kids thought they were Division III, and all of a sudden they're playing on TV. And then the other kids who didn't think they could ever go to a Harvard or a Columbia or a Amherst or a Williams, and you guys find a way to get them going. So keep up the good work, kid. All right. Now listen, and again, we got to keep Damian employed here. So, sign him a few more candidates so we can turn the lights on. All right, brother.
Sounds great. Guys, thanks for having me. I'd love to come back.
Pleasure. Come back. We hope to have you again when it's warmer.
Yes.
Definitely. We'll do a show in Florida, Danny. Let's go.
Even better.
I love that.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Nico. All right, guys, let's transition right now. Let's dive right into our rants, fellas. What are we ranting about?
Well, and this is going to come across as kissing up to Pap, but and I know in the NFL, the big thing is your coaches are hired to be fired. But what really bothered me is the Bengals situation. And it wouldn't have been bothered me as much as if they wiped everybody out. It's part of the job. But when you single out a guy to save your ass, and the sacrificial lamb was Lou Anarumo. Did he have a good year this year? No, but let's remember they also let one of their best defensive guys walk. Thank you very much. I'll take DJ Reader
every day.
This is an organization that let Marvin Lewis coach for 10 years, win 10 games a year, get in the playoffs and lose, and never did anything. Lou Anarumo, basically everyone you talk to prior to this year, Lou's doing a great job. Lou this, Lou that. This year they didn't, their defense struggled, and he was made the sacrificial lamb for this. And I just thought it was bullshit.
Danny, I appreciate you as a friend, and I appreciate you as your knowledge. And I'll tell you what, you are spot on. The guy, well, it's funny. The Bengals won 5 games in a row at the end of the year. And if you listen to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman afterwards, Joe Buck came right out of it. He goes, the reason why they won was because of Lou Anarumo. You know, when you're going to spend, and they're going to end up paying T. Higgins, when you're going to spend over a 30-yard budget on 3 players on offense,
That's a
who
problem.
the hell are you playing with? Like, I mean, you're playing with Home Depot guys on defense. I mean, no disrespect to Home Depot guys, but I'm just telling you, you're right. Felt bad for Lou. He's a prideful guy, Italian guy, you know, and so it sucks. But the bottom line here is he'll get another job in the NFL. And I tell you what,
Maybe he'll wind up at the Patriots.
how about Vrabel as the head coach and Lou as the DC? I mean, my God, and McDaniel, that would be fun.
That would be.
I'll take it, please.
He'd move back to Franklin Street in Watertown.
There you go.
He can afford a better house now. All right, my rant is again, damn, are we owned by ESPN?
No, we are not.
We are not owned by ESPN.
Good.
Thank God. Because I'll tell you what, I'm disgusted with the network, and it's just it makes me sick. But I'll tell you, the fact that we had this tragedy in New Orleans, and we had to postpone the Sugar Bowl, and we all remember 9/11. We all remember President Bush coming out and throwing the ceremonial first pitch, throwing a strike. I still get goosebumps. The Sugar Bowl did an unbelievable tribute to the victims, to the first responders. They did a moment of silence. I believe they all sang "God Bless America" on the national anthem. They held hands. There was just it's just a great sign of unity by this country. And those son of a bitches fucking blacked it out. And I'll tell you what, I've never been more fucking bullshit than that. Then I'll tell you, I just can't believe.
Sherry's got stock in ESPN.
Oh, God in heaven. I just couldn't believe it. And if you guys get a chance, YouTube the ceremony they did for the Sugar Bowl. It was amazing. So anyways, I'm done. I'm good. I feel better. I got that off my chest.
Nice.
Awesome. Fantastic.
We got some shout outs, Dave.
Oh, yeah. Let's transition right into shout outs after that great rant right there.
Go for it, John. You go first.
All right. My shout out goes for, I'll tell you what, I couldn't watch the Golden Globes last night because I don't know any TV shows and I don't know any movies, but I do like Nikki Glaser, and I'm shouting out to Nikki Glaser because I've never seen more Hollywood people squirming like there was a fire under their ass as she took them apart one by one in the monologue. It was hilarious. So shout out to Nikki. Danny, when you come down to visit in Florida, we got to go see her. She's down here, I think, in the Broward Center. We're going.
All right. I'm in.
What's yours, buddy?
I'm going to stay with the Golden Globes. Dak Shepard's a man after my heart. Apparently, he's a Lions fan. So during the ceremony, during the whole show, he's got his little TV on his lap. You know, he's watching the Lions game during the whole thing, which I thought was fantastic. As somebody who did that at someone's wedding, I have a greater appreciation for him.
I love it. We're football guys, boys, aren't we, huh?
That's it.
We are.
You're watching football films at a wedding. Dame is going to Patriots game, rooting against them, hoping to get. That's what we do, fellas. That's why we get the rating.
We're for the love of the sport.
That's how we roll.
That's how we roll. Well, guys, hey, have a great weekend. We got football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Are they playing Monday night?
I think there might be a Monday night
I
game.
think it's
Might be a Monday night game too. So it's all good. All right. Try to get outside, get a little weather. All right. Next week we'll have a great show. Thanks,
There we
guys.
go. Take it easy, everyone.